Hey, this is Sanch the Sensei. We're live with D-Def. I'm here, so just take and concentrate every Sunday 9 to 11. You know that already. We are here with D-Def. You want to say hello to them?
What's going on, people? You're right.
Yeah. There's another live interview. As you know, as we do on GFM Radio, we like to bring you the up-and-coming artists, the already established artists. Every now and then we even bring you a couple that may be done in the game. But today, as I said, we're here with D-Def. We're going to be talking to him a little bit about his artistic career, his artistic journey, the messages in your music, what you've done, what you're going to be doing this year, and kind of what the fans can be looking forward to. So I think, first and foremost, just to get in, I had a little look at your biography, listen to some of the tunes. How would you categorize your music and your journey up until this point so far?
In terms of categorizing my music, I always find that one a bit tricky because it's not all the same.
Yeah.
It's more of a as and when, so wherever I'm at in my life at that point in time, that's what you're hearing in music.
Yeah.
Obviously, the easiest way is that it's a UK rapper.
Okay.
Whatever that means at the current time.
Okay.
That's me. In terms of the journey, I've been doing music for about 10 years on and off.
Okay.
So the journey's been crazy. There's been life changes, etc. That's kind of delayed it or sped it up in certain instances to where I am now.
Yeah, that's good. It's interesting. I asked that just about your artistic journey and, you know, how would you categorize your music? Because I feel like we're moving into a time right now where the UK scene is popping off. A lot of the UK artists are coming through. We're seeing stateside artists, guys out on the continent, that's Africa for our listeners. They're getting a lot of interest in what the UK artists are doing, and a lot of the artists we speak to, they tend to not want to be boxed in, so that's why we were asking that. So you said you started about 10 years ago. Was it a tip where you always wanted to be a musician, or was it kind of something you fell into? Was you doing something else? And how did mum and dad feel about it as well?
What happened was I was conflicted in school. I was doing music while playing football. And I had a mad, especially from here. So
yeah.
Then I had a mad injury, as you do.
As you do. I would have been a footballer.
So I had an injury, then I had that decision of like, I was on crutches, just in my bed, and then I was listening to music, and I've always been kind of a reserved person in life, but then I just started to express myself, lying in bed in my crutches. Instead of feeling sorry for myself, I was like, there's something else I can do, so I got into it from there really, and then what's happened is music's taken over.
It's just interesting that you say that, actually, just to cut in, because you said, you know, you're lying in the bed with your crutches and you're getting more used to expressing yourself. That's a whole other topic. Maybe one Sunday you'll come to Straight From Concentrate, we'll talk about that. But that kind of leads into another question I would ask. So assuming maybe you weren't expressing yourself before, you're now able to express yourself more. Is it very important to you to convey certain messages in your music? Do you have certain messages you want to convey, or is it more just pen to paper or from the soul and however it comes?
A mixture of both. I think messages is important in music, because if you're like me, which I'm sure that's one thing I've learned, there's going to be people like you, people that there's not going to be like you, but if you're like me, music is important, and what you hear in music can really drive you for that day, that week, that hour, that minute, whatever. So messages are important, and the type of message that I want to put forward is just not being afraid to be yourself, because I'm from an environment that some people might view as a bit bad, and then they meet me and they're like, oh, so not all of you lot are too bad.
So when you say a bit bad, are we talking the south side of London, Lagos, Nigeria?
No. I think London, everywhere in London is the same. There's everywhere in the world's got its parts, but I'm from North London, to be specific. Hornsey, Isla, and that side.
Okay, my
side. Yeah, so we've seen stuff going up, but it's just a case of the perception from the outside is often like just bad and unapproachable and etc. So even in that crowd, I've always been myself. Like anyone will tell you, I go in the room and I don't automatically become the loudest person just because anyone's in the room. Don't matter who you are, I'm still going to be me. So I think that's important in the music, ownership, believing in yourself, and like manifestation. I think that type of message is what I'm trying to convey, really.
That's good. So when you say you know, people may look at you or where you're from and kind of feel a certain type of way, or prejudge, given, you know, rap music or however they may want to categorize it in the mainstream, what is your kind of opinion in terms of the use of profanity and messaging in terms of maybe glorification of gun crime, knife violence, so on and so forth? How do you feel about that?
I feel like to each his own. I'm not here to police anyone on what they can or can't do, because again, that'll take away from my previous point of being yourself. But me personally, listening to my music, I was surprised that I don't really use that much profanity because of my environment. I still manage to speak about it without using it in that way. And in terms of glorifying it, again, if you listen closely to my music, all that information's in there, but I'm just not speaking about it in the same way.
So I mean, like I said, I went through your biography when it came over. We listened to a lot of the tracks. So we have here the 2018, you dropped the EP. Tell us a little bit about that. How did that come about? What inspired the project? Was it a lot of late nights, or was it just Jay-Z type of one record and done type of thing?
You know what it was? That project that I dropped in 2018 was the second one of the same name. So that was pre-season 2. Yeah, I've done pre-season 1 before. My thinking when I've done it is I like to do pre-season as in relation to the football season. Right. Okay. So I'm a big football fan. Arsenal, of course, yes. That's in my banner, it's there.
We're ready in case you didn't know.
So yeah, it's in relation to that and the whole mindset that you go through before a big season kicks off. So it don't necessarily have to land at the same time. It's just pre-season 2 was for me the warm-up for myself before something else comes. So that's kind of the thinking behind it.
And 100 Times, tell us a little bit about that.
100 Times. That just happened to be a crazy record. Again, that was one of those where I was sitting down and I was just like, nah, I want this, but how bad do you want it? I want it 100 times. 100 times that. 100. So that's how 100 Times came around. And shot the video for it. We got a great feedback. It was getting played places that I wasn't expecting it to. So
yeah, I'm proud of that. I think it's always a good achievement, obviously, when you come up from the streets and you're doing it and you get recognition for your work. I think that's always a good thing. So who would you say are your musical, or were your musical, I suppose as an artist you're probably influencing yourself now, but who kind of fed into you when you were coming up, maybe from a production perspective, or established rappers already in the game?
I'll say growing up, my main influence, and to this day, is still Jay-Z. Jay, definitely. Unfortunately, rest in peace, Nipsey Hussle, that was another guy that I've taken a lot from. And in between that, I've just been very I like a lot of New York rap when New York was at its peak, so Dipset, everything like that.
Cardi B. No shit, Cardi B.
No, Cardi B. I like what she does. I like what she does, but it's not gonna inspire me. But you know, I like what she does. I wouldn't mind having a Cardi B in my team. But in terms of UK, the whole UK resurgence from back in the day, I used to watch So Solid on the screen and this is crazy. To seeing someone come through like J Hus and just crazy. So yeah, it just depends really. Yeah, Dave, I respect him.
Well, saying as you, I was gonna come to that later on, but it fits in nicely with your response right then. I don't know if you would have seen the whole Wiley and Stormzy. I just don't know. What do you make of that? Like, do you take things like that seriously? Do you think it's good for the culture? Do you think it helps, or do you follow the narrative some people are spinning, where it's kind of a little marketing promotion type of thing at the back?
To be fair, I'm not surprised by anything in this life. So if it was marketing, I wouldn't be surprised, but I think it's a bit of entertainment, a bit of two powerhouses. Like, you can't deny that they're both powerhouses, so whatever they want to do, I'm sure there's some sort of thinking behind it. But at the end of the day, they're two black men from London. Pride is on the line, so you're always gonna get that in the occasion. So yeah.
But do you think it kind of maybe feeds into some of the stereotypes they're using to kind of cage the industry a bit? Or would you say no, it's good for the industry?
Not really, because that's one thing I want people to kind of get away from, is being scared of being us. Like, that is part of the culture, so you can't take that away just to please people that are new to the culture. You got to show them the real of what it is, and it's always been a competitive sport, always. Obviously when they go in a bit too disrespectful with certain lines, then it's that's when it gets a bit blurred lines, and how you react to that, then that's different.
Obviously, being a radio host myself and speaking to a lot of artists, I always do push them on social responsibility, because personally I believe if you want to be in the public eye, eat off of the public and all of that, there should be a level of social responsibility. So like you said, I personally do think it's good for the culture as well, but maybe when we're getting to, like you said, personal lyrics or rapping in a way that's probably going to instigate people to take up a battle that doesn't concern them, You know, it's a bit here or there, but I'm glad you put it down like that. So if you could have a dream collaboration right now with any artist, dead or alive, actually let's go, we'll do, if you could have a dream collaboration with any artist dead, oh that's past, sorry, let me be respectful, who would it be? And you can't say Nipsey because you've heard his name already. I feel like that Nipsey's a go-to these days.
Nah, you know what, as much as I respect Nipsey, I wouldn't have said Nipsey because it's just different. Funny thing with me, yeah, when it comes to collaborations, as much as I respect rappers' music, I just would rather that just happen naturally. So I don't have a dream rap collaboration. I used to want to make a song with Amy Winehouse before she passed. Someone like that. Someone, yeah, Amy Winehouse. Obviously I was too young for Aaliyah, but if Aaliyah was around, someone of that nature, that's passed, yeah.
More maybe you handle the rapping, get someone that will come on and bring a different flavor. Alright, so if I do the past, let's take it if it's someone that is alive now. You can't say Jay-Z either because we've heard his name. So you see, I'm cutting out all the angle.
It's not letting it happen. That one's where it becomes difficult. There's a lot of people that I would love to work with. So to pin it down on one person would be difficult. And because they're alive, anything can happen. I mean, I like I mentioned people already. I like Jay Harsh's music. If you take it America, you said I can't say Jay-Z, so who's closest to Jay that I can say? I like Meek Mill. It just depends really, because again with my music it's all about how I feel at that time. So whoever makes sense at the time really, yeah.
Outside of music, would you say you have other interests that you pursue just as passionately, or is it just music right now and I'll get into other things later on? What's your view on maybe like politics, current affairs and things going on right now, seeing as you know you give a message in your music when you rap?
Yeah, no, shout out to my guy Z Beats because he's very into it all, like, and I have conversations with him where he'll tell me stuff and I take that in, so that's very interesting to me. But in terms of business, I've got a clothing line that I've invested into called Peter Matthew. It's an accessory men's clothing line at the moment. Small Circle Entertainment is the entertainment company that I come under, and everything that we're doing comes under. So it's a media company that we're looking to do podcasts, etc. with. And then other than that, yeah, my general interest outside is just football, like you said, politics, world affairs, very much black culture, what's going on in the world, in Africa. I love what's going on everywhere really. So yeah.
Did you hear all about Afro Nation that they did in Ghana and everything? How do you see this whole kind of pull towards getting people to come home? Is it something you'd be interested in? Would you go out and do shows in Africa? Do you go often? How do you feel about that?
Very much so. I think what's going on over there is beautiful to see, because growing up you always saw images of Africa looking terrible compared to what it really was. Exactly, all that propaganda. So I'm from the Caribbean, so going to Africa is being one of my goals. But again, I was speaking to someone just the other day, unless you know someone there, I've been told, you're not going to get the same experience, and I don't really want the tourist experience, I want the real experience. So yeah, building relationships overseas is definitely one of my goals.
Yeah, I can kind of agree with that. I'm Nigerian myself personally. I never went until the first time in 2010, and I agree with you. It's probably the 5th or 6th time I went before I saw Nigeria, the traffic jams, the lights going and so on. But that's what makes it the culture. I've never been to the Caribbean. I would love to go as well. It's good that you bring that up. So do you think, how do you see the kind of mesh now between the two diasporas? Because you know we're seeing artists like Davido and Popcorn working together. I don't know if I pronounce that properly. Sorry to our Caribbean, because they're always getting on to me now. They'll say I'm too African. Yeah. So what, you know, do you think it's because you know there's always the kind of, you know, obviously the Caribbeans did it first. They set pace with all their genres, and we all wanted to be Caribbean when we grew up, and then Africans became cool. Yeah, exactly. So how do you see the kind of, do you think it's a good fit between the two diasporas? Do you think music can be made well between them, or is it kind of leave it but love each other type of thing?
No, I think it can be done. You're seeing people like Burna Boy, his music, when I first heard it, I wasn't even sure where he was from. So yeah, it can work, but I feel like there was an element where you see like this whole Afro beats and Afro swing thing happen in the UK. If that's what it's actually called, I don't know. I feel like there was this feeling of Africa's taken over, there's no space for the Caribbeans. Whereas even now you don't really see too much, like you said, Popcorn. After that, people don't really mention no one else from the Caribbean. So I think we've got the responsibility as artists from the Caribbean, with the Caribbean heritage, to just incorporate both. Because me personally, we're all black people. We all like what we like. So it's important to just merge the two where possible. Obviously, don't force it. So Afro music can stand by itself. Caribbean can stand by itself, but we can also share the same stages as well. Literally, yeah.
Yeah, because I feel like it's a line that people try to blur sometimes to cause confusion.
Yeah.
Okay, we're saying popcorn, but I believe that's more to do with the fact that these guys have led the industry for, like, Yab Coffee came through, she was fresh, and you understand, but it's like, you've done it for so long, you've dominated and influenced the Afro beats and everything coming up, and now like new genres. I think it will get to a point where, you know, like you're a Jay-Z or someone, your GOAT status, you don't, you know, Vybz Kartel is still talking from where he's at, and you know the rest. So so on and so forth. But we leave that alone. So 2019, we're at the top of the year, top of a new decade as well. Your fans that you've already got and fans that you're gonna get this year, what can they look forward to in 2019? What should they be looking out for, and where can they look out for it?
This year is all about bodies of works and growing, just elevation. So a lot more singles, probably a pre-season 3 since I missed out last year. I like to do it every 2 years, so probably a pre-season 3 at the end of the summer, and just more projects, more work, more collaboration, and just seeing me wherever. The best places to look for me: YouTube. We've got the Small Circle Entertainment channel, DDEF, put DEF_SC everywhere, and that's me everywhere. Yeah.
Guys, well, you heard it here first. That was DDEF. You check them out, Small Circle Entertainment, DDEF_SC. See, I'm just checking that you're all listening. All the platforms, the Twitter, the Instagram, the Spotify, the Apple Music. That's where I listened to his music this morning. Tune in, follow, subscribe, like, click, all the rest of that, and look out for. Have you got anything new coming out this year already in the pipeline, or they should just keep an eye out?
No, we've got something lined up for after this smooth sailing run. Okay. It's not going to be over, but you know, yeah. Exactly that, into the summer. So yeah, no, we've got something coming February, March, around that time as well. Yeah.
Alright, guys, well, look out for that in February and March. Smooth sailing, stream it, blast it out. Everywhere you can play it, just keep it going and do your thing. It's been Sanch the Sensei from Straight From Concentrate on GFM Radio every Sunday 9 to 11 p.m. with our honourable member
DDEF.
We're back for another one soon.